Good morning. Welcome to another session of this video class. In this class, we will discuss two important phenomena in the atomic physics, that is Zeeman effect and coupling schemes. One is the Zeeman effect and the coupling schemes. Zeeman effect, a very interesting phenomena that leads to some important research in the atomic physics and some important discoveries as far as the properties of atoms in the modern physics. Zeeman effect was proposed by Professor Zeeman in the year 1896. Zeeman effect is nothing but the phenomena of the spectrum of a material in the magnetic field, or how the spectral lines given by certain material when it is under the influence of magnetic field. Okay, the particular effects of the specific about effects of magnetic field on the spectrum of material, okay, are clearly explained in the form of a phenomena which is known as the Zeeman effect or Zeeman phenomena. When the source given by spectrum or the source of a spectrum is subjected to the magnetic field, the original spectral lines without magnetic field are now it splits up into some components. This is what is known as the Zeeman effect. That's why the phenomenon of splitting up of a spectral line into components when the source is kept under the influence of magnetic field is known as the Zeeman effect. Right. Magnetic field means generally strong magnetic field and weak magnetic field. It means that though again the splitting up of spectral lines will depend upon the strength of the magnetic field. Under the influence of a strong magnetic field, each spectral line splits up into doublets and triplets, and sometimes more also. I said that in the presence of strong magnetic field, the spectral lines are splits up into doublets and triplets, and in the presence of weak magnetic field, they are splits up into the spectral lines are splits up into a number of lines. That's why we have two kinds of Zeeman effects or two regions of Zeeman effects. One is the normal Zeeman effect, the other one is the anomalous Zeeman effect. Normal Zeeman effect arises in the presence of strong magnetic field, whereas anomalous Zeeman effect arises in the presence of weak magnetic field. Right. In the normal Zeeman effect, that is under the influence of strong magnetic field, each spectral line splits up into two lines or three lines, doublets and triplets. That is, in the presence of or in the influence of strong magnetic field, if you observe the spectrum in the longitudinal view, means in the direction of the applied magnetic field, then you can able to found two lines. Okay, it means that the original line will be split up into two components. Right. In the presence of strong magnetic field, if you observe the phenomena in the transverse view means in a direction perpendicular to the applied magnetic field, then you can able to see three components. Okay, in which one is the original one, the other one is the the lines that are splits on either side of this one, either side of the original one, and this is okay. This is known as the transverse view observation. Longitudinal view observation, you can able to observe two lines only, not the original one. In the transverse view of observation, you can also view the splitted lines as well as the original line. Therefore, you can able to find the triplet or three lines. Okay, this is about the normal Zeeman effect. Right. When weak magnetic field is applied, it was observed that or it was found that each spectral line splits up into okay more number of lines, three or more number of components, and this is known as the anomalous Zeeman effect. Thus, okay, Zeeman effect will be of two types: normal Zeeman effect in the presence of strong magnetic field, anomalous Zeeman effect in the presence of a weak magnetic field. In normal Zeeman effect, okay, each spectral line will either splits up into doublet or triplet. Whereas in anomalous Zeeman effect, each spectral line will split up into three and more number of lines. Okay. Right. Of course, the experimental arrangement or the observations can be made by means of this kind of small arrangement here. Only the schematic diagram is given. Okay, not the elaborated one. And like this is the source, it is a flash lamp. This is subjected to, this is the north pole and this is south pole. North pole, south pole, north pole. The poles are drilled to have a hole in order to and observe the spectrum longitudinally. This is the law for longitudinal view. You have a hole at the middle of the this one, the two magnetic poles, right? And you will get a transverse view in this direction, transverse view perpendicular view in this direction. That's why this is north pole and this is south pole region. Okay, by means of these two poles, we can able to apply the either strong magnetic field or weak magnetic field, depends upon what this one they need or the kind of observation we want to make here. Right. In case of normal Zeeman effect, you can able to find the okay in longitudinal view you can able to find the two lines only, not the original line is not observed. Therefore, on original line, okay, or about original line, two lines will be obtained with a frequency nu minus delta nu and nu plus delta nu. It means that the two lines okay are equally spaced and the frequency separation is also equal. Whereas in the normal Zeeman effect, when once if you observe the transverse view, of course you can find the original line with frequency nu, and these two lines, one is the nu minus delta nu, the other one is the nu plus delta nu. Okay, all together these three will use the triplet. Okay, in this one, this line, okay, the displacement of this line is equal to the displacement of the other line. Therefore, the split will be symmetrical on either side. Therefore, in the Zeeman effect, the lines are splits up symmetrically with same displacements on both sides. Same displacements on both sides. Okay. And another important observation is in Zeeman effect, the component lines are polarized lines. They are polarized, right? In anomalous Zeeman effect, that is what is that one? In the presence of the weak magnetic field, each line will be split up into okay a number of lines, three or more number of lines. Generally, in the normal Zeeman effect, since the okay magnetic orbital quantum number ML has how many values? Already we observed that one 2L plus 1 values. Therefore, okay, due to the presence of magnetic field, we will get the magnetic orbital quantum number, and this magnetic orbital quantum number has values how many? 2L plus 1. Therefore, each and every line splits up into how many components? 2L plus 1 components. Okay, 2L plus 1 components. Thus, we will get what this one normal Zeeman effect phenomenon. Whereas in anomalous Zeeman effect, okay, due to the Landé's G factor, there arises one kind of factor, one kind of another composite quantum number due to the presence of what this one the weak magnetic field. Okay, landed G factor, it is a kind of quantum number. This quantum number will give the splitting up of a spectral line in a number of lines. Okay, by means of this one you can able to get the a number of lines, either 3 or more number of lines will be observed in case of anomalous Zeeman effect. Okay, this is a short or brief note about Zeeman effect without any experimental arrangement and of course more depth of studies, because this is sufficient as far as a short note on this particular factor is concerned. Okay, in view of the coverage of short notes, okay, short note or brief note, this much of explanation was given to you. Okay, right. Now we will go for the coupling schemes. Very important topic, very interesting topic. Coupling schemes. What is meant by coupling here? Where the coupling will take place? We know what is the basis for vector atom model? Spatial quantization, spin quantization. What is spatial quantization? Orbital motion of the electron is quantized. It means that electron orbits are quantized. Okay, electron orbits are quantized. It means that electron orbits are discrete. They are having definitive value and definitive direction. Okay, orbital motion of the electron are quantized with a quantum number, that is what is known as the orbital quantum number L. Okay. What is the other component of the or other postulates of the vector atom model? That is the spin quantization. What is spin quantization? Electron, while it is rotating around the nucleus in an orbit, it also rotates around about its own axis. It means that it is having self-rotation. It means that it is having spin rotation. Spin orbits of electrons are also quantized. It means that the spin orbits of electrons are also having definite values only, definite direction, definite magnitude. Okay, spin orbits quantization or spin quantization is okay, S. L is the orbital quantum number, S is the spin quantum number. L is the quantum number to quantize the orbital motion and S is the quantum number to quantize the spin motion. That is very fine here. Okay, that is, this is quantization of orbital motion, this is quantization of spin motion. Quantization of orbital motion will be done by with a orbital quantum number. Quantization of spin quantum will be quantized with the spin quantum number. Right. Now, when once such two vectors are arised due to the two kinds of motion of electron, one is the orbital motion and the other one is the spin motion. Okay, the resultant motion or the resultant quantum number or the resultant vector, the resultant of Ls and S is total orbital quantum number J. Already we know all these things. The total orbital quantum number is the vectorial addition of orbital quantum number and spin quantum number. Now, in the present topic, how this addition of L and S will take place to give J value. What kind of coupling or how many types of couplings will arise in between L and S to give the J value. Again I will tell you, okay, how many kinds of or what kinds of couplings between orbital quantum number L and spin quantum number S will produce the total orbital angular quantum number J is the present question or is the present topic. That's why we will study about the coupling schemes. Coupling schemes is nothing but the coupling or addition between L vector and S vector to give J vector, orbital quantum number and spin quantum number to give total orbital quantum number. Okay, right. Therefore, okay, there are two kinds of in the process of the coupling schemes or the addition of or the coupling between L and S, there are two kinds of couplings are possible. One is LS coupling and the other one is JJ coupling. One is the LS coupling and the other one is JJ coupling. Actually, coupling will take place because of the magnetic fields that are arise due to the electron motion. Right. Now, magnetic field means again you may have strong magnetic field and weak magnetic field. Strong magnetic field effect and weak magnetic field effect. If the applied field is strong, then the coupling will be one type. If the applied field is weak, the coupling will be the other way. That's why there are two kinds of couplings. One is the LS coupling, the other one is the JJ coupling. Presently, we will discuss about LS coupling. Okay, this kind of coupling scheme was proposed by Russell-Sanders. Therefore, this is known as the Russell-Sanders coupling or RS coupling or LS coupling. Okay. Second point, this kind of coupling takes place in the presence of the strong magnetic field. Very important. This kind of coupling takes place in the presence of strong magnetic field. Therefore, this is strong magnetic field coupling scheme. Right. In the presence of strong magnetic field can able to dictate the electrons, all the electrons in the atom, or all the electrons in the system to gather together, and it orders that all the electrons should join their individual L vectors together to produce a resultant L vector. What is the thing here? The strong magnetic field commands all the vectors, so that they should join their orbital vectors, individual orbital vectors, to produce a resultant orbital vector. Therefore, in the presence of strong magnetic field, all the electrons in the system join their orbital vectors, orbital quantum numbers, together to give a resultant orbital quantum number. Capital L bar is equal to L1 bar plus L2 bar plus so on, Ln bar. And similarly, this is strong magnetic field. Because of this strong magnetic field also, all spin quantum numbers or spin quantum vectors are joined together to produce a resultant spin quantum number. S bar is equal to S1 bar plus S2 bar plus so on, Sn bar. That's why formation of L bar and S bar in this way means joining of all L's together to give capital L, and joining of all S together to give the resultant S is due to the presence of the strong magnetic field. After getting a resultant L vector and a resultant S vector of the atomic of the electron system, now these two resultant L bar and S bar will combine to give the orbital angular momentum or the resultant orbital angular momentum. Capital J bar is equal to capital L bar plus capital S bar. In case of even electron system, S bar is an integer and J bar is also an integer, because L bar is equal to S bar plus J bar is equal to L bar plus S bar. L is always an integer, but S may be half integer. Therefore, in case of even number system, S will become 0 or 1. Therefore, J bar is equal to an integer. In case of odd number system, S will be half integer. Therefore, J bar is half integer. It is 1 by 2 or 3 by 2 or 5 by 2 and so on. But J bar is always a positive vector. Please remember, J bar is always a positive vector. Right. Now we'll switch into another type of coupling. Another kind of coupling automatically, very clearly, it is due to the presence of weak magnetic field. This kind of coupling is known as JJ coupling. This kind of coupling takes place in the presence of weak magnetic field. In the presence of weak magnetic field, there the strong magnetic field dominates all the electrons. so that all the electrons have to join their L vector separately and S vector separately to give capital L bar and S vector. But in the weak magnetic field, each and every electron, okay, join their L vector and S vector to give their individual J vectors. It means that in the weak magnetic field, interaction between L and S of each vector is a dominant phenomenon. What do you think? In the presence of weak magnetic field, interaction between orbital vector and spin vector of each electron will be a dominant phenomenon. It means that each and every electron joins their L vectors and S vectors together, or couples their L vectors and S vectors together to give their individual J vectors. Therefore, you will get to J1 bar, J2 bar, J3 bar, J3, 4 bar, so on, so on. That's why each and every electron, in case of first electron, J1 bar is equal to L1 bar plus S1 bar. J2 bar is equal to, for second vector, L2 bar plus S2 bar. Okay. For nth electron, Jn bar is equal to Ln bar plus Sn bar. What do you think? This kind of coupling or this kind of interaction between L and S of individual electron will be a dominant interaction in the presence of weak magnetic field. Therefore, okay, after getting J1 bar, J2 bar, J3 bar, so on, Jn bar of individual total angular momentum vector, the resultant angular momentum of the system J bar is equal to capital J bar is equal to small j1 bar plus small j2 bar plus so on, small jn bar. Okay, all these kinds of couplings are shown here. LS coupling L1, L2, L3, all joining together you will get L bar. S1, S2, S3, you will get to S bar. This is S bar and this is L bar, you will get J bar. Suppose if you take this L1 and S1, you will get J1 here, L2 and S2, you will get J3 here, J2 here, you will get L3 and S3, you will get J and 3 here. Therefore, for JJ coupling, you will get J1, J2, J3 here, and the addition of all these things will J here. Okay, which was not shown here because you will get confused because of the same kind of because of two types of interactions in the same diagram. But this is for LS coupling. Okay, thus there are two kinds of couplings. One is the strong field coupling between L vector and S vector, and weak field coupling between L vector and S vector. Okay, in strong field coupling, that is what is known as the Russell-Sanders coupling, LS coupling, and weak field coupling, individual electrons will couple, okay, individually. Therefore, you will get to, okay, the total J is equal to J1 plus J2 plus J3 bar. This is about all about the two coupling schemes, which is a very interesting and important phenomenon as far as the coupling of orbital vector and spin vector to produce the total orbital quantum number or total orbital vector. Okay, right? See you in the next class.